Hello guys, today I'm gonna talk a little bit about Abyssal and how you should approach Abyssal, um, and how you should, let's just say, not just farming it for the ISK, but whatever you're flying, trying to apply it. So let's just say um, we are, we want to fly a ship in faction warfare that we don't know how to navigate it yet very well, and I want to use that ship after I fly in the abyss, and making good ISK. I want to fly that ship after in the faction warfare, and what are the modifications of what is to be considered in the Abyssal. So we're gonna start from scratch. um, let's just take we're starting like with a very simple one, like a frigate, um, and a very popular frigate in faction warfare is Federation Comet. So let's just say I want to fly this ship. It's a very good ship, and but I don't know yet how to fly it in the faction warfare, and and I want to practice it a little bit in the abyss. Now, granted, the Federation Navy Comet is not a great ship for the abyss, but you can still learn. You can still learn how to navigate it with it, and we are we're gonna go for through a run. We're gonna do our own Federation Navy Comet from scratch and explain to you what to consider in Abyss and what to consider in faction warfare when you're flying a ship. So we got the Federation Navy Comet, and we're gonna build it from scratch. What do we need? Is in both is the damage control. This is just a good module that increases the HP and the resistance. So this is an always to use. Now there is also ancillary, the small ancillary that you can also use in the abyss to like an oh shit type of button if you're you know getting overwhelmed and receive a lot of damage rather. And this is also a very popular module used in faction warfare. We're gonna have a lot more nanite in, let's just say 100 in the abyss, but in the faction warfare you don't need that much nanite. You can actually only have 8 nanite and that'll be enough, because most of the time you just brawl with another ship, and if you're just getting the whole cycle, you're basically you did your job, because it will just the reload time, it's a very long period, and the the one versus one battles won't take that long. And yeah, those are probably core, and we are gonna take a look of another item that is used in both, but there's some differences sometimes. um, the afterburner. The afterburner is a must in the abyss, because sometimes you're getting scrammed by um, the mobs there, but it is not a must in faction warfare. Sometimes you can use um, the micro warp drive, but because you want to catch in faction warfare the fast ships, and the way you do that, if they don't want to brawl, you just want to catch them. That's how you do it. Now the micro warp drive needs a little more navigational and player skills related skills. And the afterburner is just constant. Um, that's the one, and there's also the web. Now, I'm putting all tier 2s, but you can put tier 1 also if you're having fitting problems. The web is also very much used in the faction warfare and in the Abyss. And let's just say even the guns that you're using for the Abyss and the in the faction warfare. Now, you can actually use both in Abyss and in faction warfare. Why am I keep putting those together? Because I really think that Abyss should be used as a way to practice for faction warfare instead of just making money. Unless you're just doing like Abyss, let's just say 6 or 5, you know, Abyss rolls for that level, then you would just want to make ISK. Then I can understand. But if you're doing like low tier Abyss, there's no point of flying the best ships like the Worm and whatever. Fly your ship that you want to fly in the faction warfare instead too. So you just practice a little bit the navigation, how you feel a little bit the ship, and you get a little bit better when you get the 1 versus 1 encounter. Also, one of the other that we're gonna use, I mean, sometimes it's not, you know, it's kind of optional. It's not a big deal. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put this one. It's the, is it the neutralizer? The Nosferatu? Okay. So there's the Nosferatu is a must in Abyss, but it's not a must in faction warfare. Sometimes you want to actually use the neutralizer. If you're in a 1 versus 1 brawl, you're getting that small edge of, you know, draining the capacitor of the enemy a little faster. So until now, I think that's you can use this in both. Now also you can use the railguns. I like blasters, but railguns are also good in, you know, both Abyss and both faction warfare for this ship. Now, one thing I want to mention is that in faction warfare you want to use a scram for the ship, but in because you don't want people to just warp away, and also because you cannot keep in the faction warfare, or you cannot enter in the sites in faction warfare with a warp core stabilizer, which means the warp scram is basically, you know, setting you in a 1 versus 1. The other player cannot escape anymore once it's getting scrammed, and cannot just have like a warp core stabilizer and warp away. There's a work way around that, but I'm not gonna explain for the sake for the video in this video. So you don't want to use that. Instead, in Abyss, you want to use a battery. And I think a small one is good enough. Let me see. No, not transmitter. It's in the mid slots. Small battery. I think this is better. Yeah. There you go. Now, I think this just takes too much of my energy, so I'm just gonna put a variation of it like this. Yeah, it's much better, or even like this. There you go. That's good. In the low slots, I mean, those you need in the Abyss, this is not good enough. You know, the ancillary is not good enough. You just need a constant armor repairer. there's there's no work around that. You need that. You need to tank ship or mobs or whatever. Um, Now, for faction warfare, you can just put damage. You can just put, let's just say on the turrets, we got the stabilizers, and you can just put two of those. And you're good. You're getting good damage, and also with the scram, and holding it, in place and just brawling it, and or destroying it. That's actually a good fit. But in Abyss, you just need to tank or regenerate, because you just keep fighting another wave of NPCs. I guess we can keep this in. And yeah, that basically, setting up for the low slots, for the mid slot and high slots. And in the rigs in faction warfare, you just put more tank if you're just flying a tank. Like, what do we got here? Trigs or transversal, they're both good. I think this is gonna give you a little more HP. Yeah. Obviously, if for faction warfare you need scram instead of this, and instead of the armor repair, you might have just another magnetic field stabilizer too. Yeah, and that's basically, in short, faction warfare fit. For the Abyssal, you just need to be able to first to fly the ship. And let's just put something that will help with that. And engineering, let's just say power grid. Ancillary, this is good enough. Ancillary, and what else do we need? I guess we can put damage. No. Let's just put battery, I guess. There's nothing else better to put. So we're gonna go to injury. Let's just see. This gets battery. That's the one. There you go. Let's put tier 2 just to be safe. There you go. And we have our Abyssal ship, where we're putting more, so we have more regen for our capacitor, or if we're getting drained by mobs. Also, this module, it helps you with that also if you're getting drained by mobs. So let's just save for, let's just say Abyssal and faction warfare. Also, we might just need some more ammo. I haven't forgot to. We're gonna buy this fit and just fit it right away, and we're gonna go into the Abyss and showcase to you. Which one was it? Abyss faction warfare. There you go. Also, let's just get to use more ammo. Let's just say 5,000. And for null, yeah, also the null is probably sometimes even more useful in the Abyss, but it can have also usefulness. Let's just buy straight up. I don't know, 3,000. It's good enough. I mean, for a run, definitely. Okay, and let's put this. Oh shit, we didn't equip it. Okay, let's get in. Let's ensure. I mean, that's basically the difference between Abyss and faction warfare. You just in Abyss you just need more capacitor and sustainability, and in faction warfare you just need just straight up more raw power and more ways to disrupt the enemies from fleeing, or you know, less sustainability, that's for sure. All right, I think we're good. We'll probably just need also like we have the ammo. Yes. We'll just need also an Abyss, and you can start with Tranquil, but what's called is it Tranquil? What is that called? I forgot. Anyway, wait, what was that? We'll just look at the bonuses as well. Electric? I guess we can use capacitor. Whatever. We're gonna go. We're gonna pick one. We're gonna put it in our inventory, and we're gonna create a fleet in Maker 1 in Abyss to showcase to you how to do it. Oh, also I forgot the drones. Also about the drones, in faction warfare you can just use hobgoblins because those are just deal the most damage. But in Abyss you wanna have the one that have the most HP. So we're gonna use this. Also probably just buy 3 more just in case I forget them or to recall or something. There you go, and we're just doing an Abyss run from zero, from scratch, with a ship that we want to fly in faction warfare. We got what we need. All right, we got the filaments, we got the ammo. So let's just do it. I'm gonna showcase to you real quick. You know, Abyss is definitely a place where you can start. Practicing navigation. It really helps. Okay, I think I need to create a fleet. Form a fleet. If I'm getting killed, guys. Alright, use. Oh, I cannot activate it here. I might need to just go somewhere. Okay, give me a second then. Whatever, we're gonna go here. Yeah, so Abyss you cannot activate it in 0.9 or 1.0 systems. You'll need to fly first. Somewhere. It was like not somewhat recent, but it was a change that happened. You cannot activate it from anywhere. But yeah, and practice with you know, the ships that you want to fly in the faction warfare. The best. It's the way to do it. Definitely. Hopefully this is 0.8 at least system. Actually don't know. I don't want to just stumble another high sec or something. That is not, that I cannot activate the Abyss. Yeah. And after you finish, you just get the good LP, you get the experience on how to fly the ship. And that's like a useful way to just get good ISK and practice your, favorite ship. But yeah, don't fly the best ship for Abyss. Yeah, obviously, if the best ship is just, yeah, okay, you picked up Worm, you fit it the best. It's just nobody flies Worm in the faction warfare. That's the thing. And it's not because it's a bad ship, it's because you cannot enter all the sites. It is considered like a tier 2 ship, even if it's not. Because it's not a faction ship. There you go. So now we good. Let's just use the filament. I don't even know if it's the right weather or anything. It's just I pick up the... Oh, did I miss something? No. We're good. We're good, we're good. We can go in. Let's do our Abyssal run and showcase to you that you can actually, if you know what to expect from the Abyss, you can just fit it from scratch. And the higher tier you go with the Abyss, the more you'll probably just need either like clone or like a combat. What am I saying? Like yeah, the clone, you will just need more implants, or you just need drugs, or yeah, that type of thing. As you can see, those are actually dealing quite a bit of damage. But we got the repairer. I don't have to. Was that it? Is that... you can definitely... I think with this fit you can do that. I don't know if I'm actually doing a tier 0 or a tier 1. Is Tranquil a tier 0 or tier 1? I actually don't know. But I feel like you can do with this at least a tier 1 Abyss. Probably even tier 2 if you just like have the right things. And there you go. We pick up, I think it's a tier 0 Tranquil, though I cannot tell for sure. But it feels like a tier 0. That much I can tell you. As you can see, I can have this both modules all day long online and be fine. Okay. Forgot. No, I called the draws. I'm good. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's definitely a tier 0 Tranquil. Let's activate. There you go. So I'll finish this real quick. I'll finish this and I'll probably just end the video. Also, I forget always to just use the... Even in battle, sometimes I just use to forget the Nosferatu. I don't know why. It's there, but I keep forgetting it. Yeah, also when you activate an Abyss, if you want to do this in frigates, you will need 3 filaments instead of 1. Because you can do it in a fleet of 3 people. But if you're doing it solo, more for you, I guess. You're just gonna get a little bit more loot, I think. And oh yeah, calm, right? Calm, tranquil, calm. I think it's tier 1. Sorry, I don't know that about that, guys, but yes. All right, let me jump on the other side. I think this is the last one. It's pretty quick, actually. As you can see, I mean, you just, you know, get to feel the ship a little bit, and I'm pretty safe, especially in tier 0. There's no actual danger. I feel like I could do tier 1 also without any issue, and if I push it, I can do tier 2 with this ship. And yeah, it's just you get to feel the ship, you know. That's the difference. You know, you fly in the Abyss what you want to fly in combat as well. You don't fly the best ships for the Abyss, because obviously there are a couple of, you know, Gila, War. But are you learning anything while doing the Abyss? No, you're just doing this just for the ISK. So like this, you can actually, you know, be a little bit more practical. I guess you can put it that way. Put 2 birds, 1 stone. Type of thing. Yeah, I guess that should be it. I think it's 6 minutes. You know, really no issue. And I learned the ship. I mean, obviously I can fly the, or know how to fly the Federation of the Comet, but if you're doing this yourself, you just like, you know, you get to feel the ship a little bit. You know when to call drones, recall drones, you know the range of your turrets, and you know how to, when to activate, you know, I mean, the repairer and all the other things, you know, or the, or you know, to activate the Nosferatu. And that's about it. As you can see, made a couple of minions. I don't know how much. It's not 5 million because of the, but yeah, it is a couple of millions doing an Abyss. That is much for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.